Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into a specific message. And the specific message is starting out. I do these as something actually comes into my mind, some thought process. I pictured somebody with I don't know if it was like a keychain or it seemed like a good luck charm or a talisman or something. And I really couldn't see what it was because it kept kind of changing in my mind's eye. Sometimes I saw like a single like a circular something or other that had like a pattern or some engraving on it. Sometimes I saw like somebody who had kept like a worry stone or something in their pocket, something to just rub their thumb on. Um, Other people, it was like like their lucky T-shirt or something. So it kind of kept changing in my mind, but my brain came back again and again to something that looked like it dangled on like a little chain, like a keychain type of thing. It wasn't ever like a lucky rabbit's foot or anything that was like that I would expect. It wasn't like one of those traditional symbols. It was just something that had meaning to the individual. And it was considered like they thought of it as their lucky something or other. Now, I don't know what this is going to mean for this person. Is this symbolic? Is this a gift from somebody? Is it the talisman aspect of it? Or is it the how'd they get this item, or why do they believe that this brings them good luck? I don't know. Hi guys, Violet. Hi, sweetheart. Carol, Violet wins. Carol, you are coming in second place. Cataclysmic Awakening. Sandy and April Fresh. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we have a Two of Pentacles. This Two of Pentacles actually shows somebody who travels from point A to point B, because we have this road in the middle, we have a map. So this is possibly something that somebody feels is a good luck charm, like when they travel. This could be like, oh, I wear my lucky socks every time I fly. Or this could be, I always feel like when I pass by a certain point on this road that I travel frequently, you know how we can set things in our mind, and it's like if I pass by, let's say a clock tower in town, and it is like on the 15-minute on a certain increment on the clock, I always know that's going to be a good lucky day. Like I feel like somebody's built like a happy superstition around something where it's like, oh, it could be either or, what's it going to be? And I think that they've turned it into like their thing. They're superstitious, like, oh, it's going to be a good day, it's going to be good when I get to work today, because when I drove by that one building that has the clock, I as I glanced up, stopping at that stoplight, I saw it was right there on the 15-minute past, and I just know that's always good numbers for me. It could be something like that. It could also be like numbers. It could be that our character sees, a certain, in this case, maybe the number two is really important to them, or maybe seeing two things they think of as like, seeing two things together. Maybe they take it as a good sign, seeing two palm trees growing, because we actually have two palm trees here and two palm trees here. So perhaps it's like, ooh, anytime I see two palm trees side by side, I know that I'm in a lucky place. This man at wands, he is so sure this is good fortune. So I'm going to say that we have someone who really does believe in the superstition that they have either created or bought into. Maybe we could call it a placebo, whatever. It doesn't matter. It makes him happy, right? He's in a really good, powerful energy right now. He's feeling excited. This almost feels like he's standing here like cheering for his team to win, in a soccer match or something. But this is something that he needs to have good luck or good fortune on this year. It's something changing in his life. And I feel like I'm almost picturing somebody like cracking open a fortune cookie and being like, okay, excellent. I got a really good message. Now I know that this is going to go well. He's got a pep in his step. This divine masculine is very happy. He could have a beard. He could have longer, shaggier hair. He could live in an area that tends to have forest fires, by the way. Or maybe he's really good at grilling meats, smoking meats. I just see him around fire, but not necessarily in a dangerous way. I know forest fires are very dangerous, but I'm thinking he manages that really well. So, like if he's, say he's a chef or a grill or something, he doesn't let his things catch fire on his grill. Let's say he's very responsible if he goes camping, and he'll make sure that he always, make sure that all the embers are put out. Or let's say maybe he's a firefighter, and it's like he has really great success in his career path. There's something here about him, and like dealing with things that, look, the same thing that can be warm and wonderful and cook our food can be very dangerous if gotten out of control. But I feel like he manages things. Maybe his work has a certain amount of like danger involved in it. It doesn't have to do with fire, but let's think of, engines. Engines basically are, combustible engines, right? That's what we drive around in our cars all the time. All these things, there's an element of, driving a car is dangerous, right? So I'm just saying it doesn't have to be like this crazy out of bounds, danger in his life. But let's just say whatever he does do, he manages it very, very well. I don't feel like he is chaotic in any way. It feels like he's somebody who does like life to be organized. It does feel like he's hoping for something to go really well. And he just got some kind of symbolic, sense of like, okay, this is going to be excellent. This is going to go really, really well. And maybe it is work related. I don't know. It's something about a change in his life. We have the Death card. And here he's actually standing, like in a cemetery. So it could very well be that he is like, maybe he's moving from one place to another. He's ending one chapter of his life, starting another new chapter. And he's like, okay, everything is falling into place. This is feeling so good. I'm actually moving. I'm actually leaving. And this is going to work out. This is going to be good. We could look at it like that. He may see a buzzard or a turkey or something, like a wild turkey. And that could be another sign. If I remember correctly, didn't Benjamin Franklin really like the wild turkey and wanted that to be the nation's bird, not the bald eagle? I think he wanted it to be the wild turkey, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we have a Two of Cups. Hang on, before I say anything else, I mean, obviously, immediately I feel like he is moving, uprooting his life, and maybe he's doing this for love, and he's like convincing himself this finally, everything is falling into place. Finally, all this can happen. Finally, I can actually be with the person that I want to be with. We definitely are going to hunker down on the idea of change, because we've got this seal, and it's not just a seal. I always look at it as one of the Selkies. And in, mythology, the Selkies are these beautiful seals who can become women if they come up like on the shores. They can slip out of their seals or seal skins, and they are these beautiful mortal women who are able to, get married and have children and everything. But eventually, in most of the mythological tales, they usually choose to go back to the sea and live again as a seal. But it just shows like the duality here. So I'm just thinking that there's definitely like, if he's changing something in his life, maybe he's moving, traveling, gonna uproot his life. I mean, maybe this is big distance. Maybe this is, I'm gonna move to another country for the person that I love. And I mean, I gotta hope this will all work. And it's like, it's all clicking. I got a job. I got, things arranged. He's definitely letting go of one chapter of his life and embracing a new one. And I do think he's doing this for love. Let's see who is the other half of this Two of Cups. Somebody can see a snail or a slug even moving along really slowly. We also have, this really reminds me very much of like in the early season, what my fig tree looks like. So I don't know if somebody lives in an area where fig trees, also like pussy willows, might grow. That reminds me of pussy willows as well. We have Eight of Swords, and we have the World card. And I was asking, who is his Two of Cups? This World card has like this very robust fertility goddess on it, the statue of fertility. So I'm covering her up. So very much Mother Gaia. And the fact that we have the World, and let me just see if I can arrange this. We can see that we have this butterfly flying around her midsection, almost like that's the equator, I definitely feel like this World card could represent, she lives in a different area. She lives far away. She could be a Capricorn. She may represent fertility, so like the person he'd want to have children with, or maybe she already has children. Maybe he has children with her, but has not successfully been able to like move to be with her. Um, with that Eight of Swords, we have a scientific energy here because we've got all of these like atoms and electrons buzzing around. We've got normally the Eight of Swords would just be stuck energy, but instead we have this rapid moving, and we have a feminine on this white horse. I feel like he's the one who's been stuck and she's been very free. She maybe has already moved on with her life. She's in a different place, different energy flow. She's definitely started some new cycle. And it's like he's got to catch up to her. Maybe he couldn't follow her. He couldn't go after her or join her for a period of time. Why? Why could you not join her for a period of time until now? We have got the Fool card sideways. This says, well, I could have. I really could have, but I didn't. I decided that there were other things I still had to attend to for some reason. We do have a fox, but this could also be somebody who has like a small doggy that looks kind of foxy, like maybe a Chihuahua mixed with like corgi or something, or something along those lines. We have a Boy of Wands. Why didn't he just join her initially? Why did it take this long? Why did he say, I have to have this good luck and good fortune before I can change my life? Maybe he was trying to make a fortune. There was something here about if you don't have the courage to take that fool's leap and move forward because you're still seeing yourself as like a boy, instead of a King of Wands, I'm wondering if that's the better interpretation here. Look, I hate to say it, but you know, he's in quite a bit of finery, right? Really lovely, like maybe this person wears like really high-end name brand clothing, you know, has been well dressed, has been maybe comes from a world of quite a bit of affluency or money, but to take this leap of faith and branch out to move where she is, to change something in his life, might have meant he needed to step up into a King of Wands energy and shift from a boy to a man, a boy to a king. Sometimes it's like, I'm not ready to grow up yet. That could have been why he wasn't ready. You know, it could have been a maturity issue, stepping up to the plate as a full-grown adult. Something has changed in his life where he's a full-grown adult now. And only because we see that Death card, so we know that there's a transformation. And he stands here, you know, in a cemetery as well. I just keep thinking that this maybe represents the old version of himself. And he's ready to go ahead and make this big, you know, transformation. We have the Boy of Cups sideways. I mean, this feels like somebody who's saying, I mean, I'm sorry I didn't do this sooner. Sorry I didn't grow up a little faster or choose to follow my heart and my emotions a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and say that there were some wobbly emotions. Somebody could have, like either they have spent time like snorkeling and specifically like along a reef and seen like the beautiful, you know, angelfish and all those really colorful, beautiful tropical fish. King of Pentacles, he had to shift energy into this very grounded, very, I'm just going to say he had to get his footing in this life. He had to feel empowered. And he's done that now. So, you know, good for him, for sure. He's gotten to the point of, you know, who he needed to be so that he would have the courage or the energy to pursue, in this case, being with the Two of Cups. He had to transform his life, but that really meant he had to transform his thoughts about himself. As he's done this, him, her, please bear in mind, we could be talking about same-sex couple, reverse gender roles. But as he's done all of this, really got his footing now. He did stay right where he was for a period of time. He might have wanted to like work could have been a really important thing for him. He might have transitioned careers. I'm almost picturing somebody who retired out of one field and had to build themselves a new one at a certain age. Like, I don't think he's young. In this storyline, I don't think that this person is young. I think that this person is like 40s, 50s, 60s, but they maybe stayed feeling like a boy for a long time, like 45-year-old, but still thinking of themselves as like a boy, and then being like, whoa, I've got to like step on up to king's energy. I'm, already like moving through a career path, and my career path is going to be changing anyway. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm pushing 50s or something. So I've got to change, because he's two different kings. That's why I feel like he's had to make some significant transformations in his own life, from boy to man, but also in career path and like maturation. And now he's looking at being able to like make some pretty big change to like join her. Now, meanwhile, she comes across as this fertility goddess. So I'm just going to say she could be from, like, maybe she hails from a culture where there is a stronger, like, cultural belief system or something in like Mother Gaia, or maybe she's just very earthy herself. Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups. So she is probably pretty earthy. She's very, I don't know, she's very happy. She seems like a very colorful, very warm, very emotionally open person. She may really like fish, salmon specifically. Um, and I'm almost picturing her like she carries a basket with her. I don't know if this is like carries a basket to market, or if there's a certain amount of, like maybe old fashioned style of fishing where she actually uses like a basket net or something like that. But she's very happy with her life. And I think she's got a lot of actually it feels like she's just comfortable. There's dogwood flowers there. So I don't know if she has a dogwood tree somewhere, like I'm picturing in her yard. The salmon specifically being the fish here, I can't help but think that she's like, like Pacific Northwest or something for her, like location wise. She definitely has some connection to the water, to the sea. So maybe she lives in a place where like a river meets the sea. Oh, she's a full blown empress. Okay. So she's, no wonder she's a fertility goddess. Of course, she's an empress. She is somebody that nurtures things, grows things. She may have a child, um, or she has built something like it was a child, cared for it like it was her child. So, like, say, a business or something. Um, but I keep feeling like she's really happy in what she's done. We do have all these little fishing tackles and lures and stuff. So I keep seeing something about her and fishing and water. So I do think he's relocating from where he lives to be near where she lives. He wishes he had done this before, but he wasn't ready. Six of Swords. There's the energy of needing to like close, and I keep feeling like maybe he's lost a family member. And I say that because we have, you know, like King Tut's um, sarcophagus here. It almost feels, because of that death card and because of his, transformation and maturation, I'm just wondering if there's been some kind of like loss in his life that he had to process, and that was also part of him like maturing. That was part of him like taking on the mantle of like full grown adulthood. There's something here where it's like he's moved into, interestingly enough, like a more empowered state. Like maybe he had an oppressive, you know, um, ancestor or something, and it's like if that ancestor is no longer in his day-to-day life, maybe that allowed him to kind of like grow into himself a little bit, is what the way it's looking to me. I don't know, there's something here about the, again, it could just be the letting go of his old persona and transforming into this new version. But he could have experienced like a loss of someone in his life, and that also actually helped him to transform in a positive way. This is not like this mournful loss, nor is it like, oh, this tyrannical person is out of my life. It's not that. It's more just like the flow of the kind of like the way life changes, and the way, you know, um, eras, give way and give space to the next era to step up into their position of power. It's like how musical formats replace other musical formats. um it just kind of feels like there was some kind of a loss that then ended up being associated with a sense of rebirth and freedom for him, and calm. He's like calmer and feels better about himself than he has. I think this is just his transformation. I think this is him saying goodbye to like youth and childhood and fully embracing, this maturity level. And it feels really good. I mean, he's got to be really, you know, ready to be with an empress. So it would have to be, some kind of growth. We have a 7 of Cups, and we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. I kind of think that even though he's feeling pretty excited, he's feeling like he's got some good luck charm, and he's feeling like, okay, this is go time. I can make my move. I can gravitate toward the person, the place that I want to be. I feel like I have a streak of good fortune. I feel like this is going to work out. With that 7 of Cups, there's still the question mark of how will this all work out? How? What if my 2 of Cups doesn't want to give to me? What if the Empress, the fertility goddess, doesn't want to give to me? I mean, that's possible, but I don't know. She seems to be pretty content. She may have a whole lot of like beautiful like glassware, flatware. It's something about like, if you open up her cupboards, she probably has a lot of colorful plates, glasses, all of that. She seems like a pretty colorful person. She seems like somebody who like absorbs a lot of the different varieties of life. There's not just one way to achieve anything in life. And we don't just grow necessarily in one direction where it's like, oh, you're this age, therefore you must be ready for this and that in your life. I don't think that age is the same as maturity at all. I think that experience and mindset is what makes maturity. And I really think age doesn't matter much, as far as like, if you're 25 years old, you could still be an old soul, and you could have lived, a lot of life already, and you could be super wise, and you come across like you're 60. And then meanwhile, you can be 60 and maybe, didn't quite wrap your head around some stuff yet, and so you could still be acting like you're 21. I do think that there's also a lot to be said for like the vitality of someone and their aura and their alignment. All that kind of changes the idea of what energy we emit. But I just see him as stepping into, I think, his best era. Certainly he feels more empowered than he ever did. He doesn't feel like a kid who's still trying to find himself, and that's really nice to see. She seems like a very contented, mature adult as well, very understanding, very happy, very compassionate. So how will things work out? It seems like this storyline has to just these two have to interact. Somebody may have like a favorite string of pearls, a pearl necklace, or like bracelet or something. We literally have fortune cookies in this dish down here. I'm sorry, I just now noticed that. I've never seen that before. And a lot of really beautiful, very ornate like teapots and teacups here. Kind of all from all around the world too. Some look very British, some look Chinese, but really beautiful dishes. Everything seems ornate and patterned. We have an Ace of Discs. Come higher, hell or high water, we have a new era, a new beginning starting here. It's like, I almost feel like this starts tomorrow. I feel like with him being excited and him feeling this, like, this thrill in this storyline, and him feeling like, I can do this, I got this. It's definitely happening this year because we see the serpent and this is year of the snake. We have him feeling like a stroke of good luck. We see him getting these confirmations, seeing those double palm trees, seeing, whatever it is that he feels is like, this is good. This is excellent. Maybe this is a message for tomorrow, on the 8-8 portal, seeing double eights or something. But, or, really, if you put them sideways, that figure 8 is really the infinity symbol, right? So a double infinity symbol that maybe is part of this. But it's like tomorrow with sunrise starts the potential for everything to feel different, for him to, put some things into action. Tomorrow could be the day that he gravitates toward that Two of Cups and finds out what's going to happen. I look at this as like Aztec or Mayan. This reminds me of, artwork or something. It should be in Mexico. So I don't know if this denotes his culture or a location for him, but that's very much what that reminds me of, and that would be on his side of things. I just love the fact that I also look at it as like a sun disk or something. So I feel like it's tomorrow. I feel like it's we always say tomorrow is the next day of our life, the first day of the rest of our life. And I do like the fact that there's this beautiful chance for things to be different tomorrow. My baby is calling to me. I must disappear, you guys. You can hear him chirping. Bye. Lots of love. Aries, honey, what is it? What do you need, hon? Come here. Come here, baby. Let's see.